John, Jack, the guy with two names, right? John McCaig here, Jesus Christ Trust. I had a question yesterday in-house from about the whole Jesus is born. What? Are you trying to say that women don't give birth? I'm like, no, I'm not trying to say that. Women do give birth. But no woman gave birth to me, and no woman gave birth to Jesus Christ. That's the way it is. So, if so, what does Bear Mama mean? When he says, I'm never born, I never die, I never come, I never go. What does that mean then? He don't speak in allegories. He's a very direct guy. So, God is my father. That's it. I don't have a mother. I was given one in here, and a mother and a father and a whole, all that script. But time starts on 9/11/1969 and ends on 9/11/2033. If you were, quote, born before that day, that date, 9/11/1969, you don't have a mother either. You were born through a mother. You're born from a stork, angel, right? Let's see. Like every animal you see around you forever is one of them. The shapeshifters, right? The watchers. They're always watching. So no, I mean, and I was told, yeah, but there are three wise men, and Jesus, and the whole. I'm like, yeah, but no, that whole Old Testament nonsense is just a bunch of nonsense, right? It's made up stuff, but it didn't happen. It's like you see the skull and crossbones frag, right? That's 8 times 8, right? Each of them bones is in the shape of an 8. 8 times 8, 64. We're in a 64-year time loop. Everybody who hears that from me is like, I never heard that before. I'm like, exactly. No one has ever heard that before. No one. No one told me. No one came and said, I didn't look it up somewhere. It's in this secret book and da-da-da. No. My Father and I are one. God and I have the same universal mind. I know. That's how I know. Because I'm one with God. And so I know. Anyone else come out with that information before myself? No. Anyone come out with so many pieces of the information that I have put out before me? No. Why? Because it makes it obvious who I am. That's why it happens that way. Everyone can know, oh, that's a guy that knows. And he's got proof. And he's lived the life. He, got everything taken away from him. He is helping people. The truth sets you free. I have the truth. And I tell it to people. So I tell them. Every flag I've looked at so far, I haven't done an in-depth analysis of all flags, but like all the flags I've looked at so far, 64. So there's so many references to it. I was, let me pull up my notes here. Interesting how many people, they're not allowed to say how many fallen angels are in here. But let's go over some of this stuff. I'm always, every single time I go live, I bring up some new information that no one has brought up before. Every single time. Who could do that? Who could do that? No one. Just myself. It's not ego. But if you don't know who you can get the truth from, how you gonna know it's like, who can I trust in here, you see? So I'm trying to show you can trust me. The Jews, right? Like, if you look at the Christians, you look at the Bible, the New Testament stuff, that says, Christians, like, if you're preaching, you're not supposed to wear a hat. Anything covering your head if you're a man. And if you're a woman, you're not supposed to preach. You're supposed to cover your head, right? When preach is going around, you're supposed to wear something to cover your head. That's what it says, right? So the Jewish all wear the hat, right? So they're not here to tell the truth, right? They're not preaching the truth. Not exactly. They have to keep it quiet, right? Out of darkness light. So they're fallen angels. And what's one of their beliefs? What's one of their core mystical beliefs? That every prayer they pray, it's for what? The resurrection of the dead. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Tchayath Hitum. What first word is Tchayth, and there's an apostrophe after the first T. T apostrophe Chayth, first word. And then Haeitim. I did a Google search on those two words. You know what I found? 0. Like, literally, Elgog and Magog, right? Google backwards, Elgog. 0. And then I go Google Jewish resurrection of the dead, and all this stuff pops up, and exact spelling I have is in the articles you read. Like, Google will not let you look up that. It won't let you look it up. All right, Mike. Good to have you, man. We're down here by the water. In the spot. We're just making a noise and going up in a minute. The fourth quarter, right? What? There we go again. 4. 1 quarter 4. Amazing. Even when I'm saying it, right? Yeah, no, Google, you can't see it. So anyway, it's you should look into it. I'll probably do a video on it. It's just, why am I doing videos in this van? Like, anyone I've lived with for a long time is tired of hearing about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one has heard it more than anyone has lived with me. So, right, it's a beautiful spot. The water, the tide last night, like, on the beach, it come up all the way to the dunes right before the houses. I just walked the beach, and it was all the way up. No storm or nothing like that per se. Just a front came through on Sunday. But last night, the water was up that high. Winter stuff. Anyway, Resurrection of the Dead is about, God will resurrect all the dead. And see, they know if they die ahead of schedule before Judgment Day, they're going to come right back in here in another body and remember their lifetime and play the same role. And that's what they're going to do. How do they know that? They know all that happened to them so many times and they remember their lifetimes. I just had an interview with a vampire. You saw it, right? On the beach. That guy died. Yeah. He has, a pentagram on his left hand. He has a pentagram on his left hand. And so I sat down with him. I did some talking to him before we went live. And I said, one of the first things I said is, so, how many lifetimes do you remember? And he's like, I know. How many? How many do you remember? He's like, well, 3 to really 5. He remembers 5. He's got it tattooed right here, 5. They remember their lifetimes. They know they're going to be resurrected from the dead. They know exactly what their role is. They know because they remember all their lifetimes. Just like I know I'm one with the universal mind, and so I know what's going on in here. They know from their experience. They know they're part of that hive mind. I'm not part of that hive mind, but I know what they know, like as a God resets the place and, puts them back in their bodies and plays Disney World again. I know they do that because God does it. So I'm one in my universal mind, in my mind. Like that, I know. I know that's what happens. That's what happens. Look at all the flags up here. It's crazy. I looked up I was like, I didn't have much time. I got interrupted, but I was like, flags, right? And the first, I went to flags, Google, and I was like, images. The first one that pops up is Sicily. It's 3 legs and uh, three stalks of wheat, and there's a head in the middle, and it's yellow and red. So 3 legs, 3 pieces of wheat, yellow and red. And there's a head in the middle. Like this is when everybody gets their head chopped off. Every freaking flag. Guy in front of me in line today was in Dollar Tree. He had an Alaska flag on his hat. Like, they're all around me showing. I was on the beach today. I got flown by 3 helicopters today. 3 separate helicopters. I didn't even know Sarasota County had, I guess, of course, I didn't know they had more than 1 helicopter, but they have more than 1 helicopter. Because one went over me, whipping down with the wind, and then another 5 minutes later, I was like, wait, that's not the same helicopter. I mean, they have 2 of the same kind. And then the Navy just flew me when I'm coming back into this van to make this video. Crazy. So, I mean, and I got asked this question yesterday. It's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I say, you don't understand my job. I'm here sending everyone to hell. That's my job. What do you mean you're sending everyone to hell? I'm like, the people that don't accept the truth, they can't accept the truth of the body, so they go not in a body, and then they have to go to hell and review the whole situation in a much less pleasant environment. Oh yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. I didn't make this game. I just beat it first. Jews, though, that get resurrected, it's like their prayer. They apparently they didn't all pray it. They prayed it in the beginning of time loop, then sort of in the middle they didn't pray it all the time. But now they're back to praying it. Starting like in 2017, I think they added it to all their prayers again. Like, and thank you, God, for the resurrection of the dead. Yeah. And in that, I was watching something, and a rabbi said the name of God, which is Hashem, Hashem. That's what they call God, which is interesting because Hashem, E-M, so it's Misa the other way. So it's me, right? M-E, we be 33, right? The devil, and Misa. And so what was Jesus Christ's name to the Muslims? Because he was resurrected from the dead, right? And he goes through the Muslim world and stuff, and his burial place is just outside of Srinagar in Kashmir, where I went to visit his tomb. And so they called him Isa. So they call and see, the Jews are backward talking liars. That's their job. So Misa is, Hashem backwards is Misa. So it's not Isa, it's Misa. Me, I'm God, not him. Misa, right. But Hashem backwards is Misa. Yes, ISSA, that's right, Alan. So, but they call their God Hashem or Misa backwards. So they know exactly what's going on. It's funny. I mean, I really don't. I'm not sure. I'm really going to get many people. Your Mama said, you know, when Christian was alive, he got 17 people. God realized. That's it. That's it. That's all of them. That's a lot of people up here for, you know, I got less than 10 years. I've been doing this over 10 years, explaining the truth. Not a whole time saying who I am, but, you know, it's just required. Like, you know, everybody's got to start dying. God is killing the wicked. So that's why there's so much cool stuff coming up on eBay and everything now. You know, Craigslist and all that. All the ones that are going to get resurrected after they die, they're starting to die. So that's just what's going on. Yeah, right. This, but I know it doesn't have to say how much I suck at my job. It's so horrible. My job is so horrible. I cannot turn them. I can't turn them. What am I supposed to do? Honestly, walking on water is not something that humans can do, or if they can, they get a demon in them. So I shouldn't be, hey, you know what? Walk on water. I'm like, no, I'm trying to, you know, this is how you get screwed over. Like Mayor Baba went through the new life, right? New life. In other words, he knows there's going to be a time reset, and that new life is going to be like this. I'm going to have to give up everything. Everything's going to be taken away from me. That's just part of the new life. That's the way it is. So Mayor Baba sets the stage. Look, he didn't do anything that I didn't have to do. He just did it, you know. He didn't exactly have the same concerns and worries I did, right? There's so many stories of him. Oh, and he went to this town and fed thousands of the poor. It's like, how is that possible? I could do that, you know? Now, it's really a turf war anyway. It's about the real estate. So, uh, it's quite a thing, isn't it? Uh, since Mike is in here, you know, I say in a video with the lyrics of "Sympathy for the Devil" by the Rolling Stones, and one of the things is like, it says something like, and the troubadours get killed before they reach Bombay. In other words, if you try to do a pilgrimage and you're a musician, which Mike is a musician, and you try, and of course you fly in through Bombay, through Mumbai, to get to Mayor Baba's tomb. I did send a musician over there. He got so ill he almost died, actually. Uh, he didn't listen to me. He's not around anymore, but yeah, yeah. I'm trying to make you aware of the situation, you know? Like, I've been through so much horrible health problems, and my digestion's always horrible. Like, you know, I try and keep my health together as best as I can, but you know, it's just preordained that there's going to be health problems, right? Because the demon in us has to go before God's going to come in, and that's, you know, they don't like that, so they make it difficult on us. So we have to pray. Well, a troubadour, it says, you know, a troubadour. Not really musician. I'm saying Mike's a musician. I'm saying a troubadour. That's what it is. One who goes from town to town, right? An artist. It's literally the devil sing, right? That's who sings through them. Yeah. So you know, I mean, you gotta have sympathy for the devil. Like, what a horrible job. You know, my job ain't that easy, you know what I mean? But I get to save some people, you know? The devil, through the devil's work, ultimately they get saved when they come to the truth, but not many, you know, like the devil's job is to, you know, send them to hell, watch them over in hell, and give them this horrible experience until they listen. what a terrible job, you know. So you truly, it's right to have sympathy for the devil and forgiveness, not listening to it, not like we're done here, like cut ties and all that. But you know, I spent a number of years trying to track the devil down and kill the devil. And when I'm faced with the devil, I had, because, time pauses, time stops when I'm sitting next to the devil in Chase Bank. And then you're one with the devil, you're sitting there. And I have sympathy for the devil. I'm like, this is your actual job? Like, you have to do this crap, Like, I had sympathy in that moment for the devil. And I had been hunting the devil to kill it, like, for years. Literally, me die or the devil dies. That's it. And so, of course, I did die. Uh, and then come back in the body. But, once you're talking to the devil, it's such a impossible to describe entity, but it's such a horror what it has to do. It's like, just, you know, just to feel like where you're God's presence, you just want to serve God. When you're in devil's presence, it's just like, you're so creepy. It's like it's got all this power and everything, but it's just like this, jagged, it's hard to describe. Like, it's sort of like how it gives me like sort of like all these pieces ripped and put back together like a montage, like, and it's like not good, it's not a beautiful picture, even though the being sitting in front of you is, has a certain level of beauty and so on, in this world, but its energy, oh man, it's a sad state of affairs over there. It's like, oh dude, I don't want what you have, and you're forgiven, and later for you. But it's somehow absolutely necessary that everyone goes through this situation of wanting all these things here in this place, and they can't hear the truth, and so the devil's just got to put it to them. It can't just out listen to what I'm saying. Like, hey, you know what? Like, I was at the drum circle Sunday night, Wicked Storm, and so people are huddling under the only place you can get out of the rain, and the drummers are playing up there, and there are a bunch of people from India, like a family, like a dozen of them, and so that was maybe, a quarter of the people there. Weren't that many people there? And I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, do you want to know what Krishna means?" What? Oh, no. I said, "Do you want to know?" I was like, he's like, I was like, "You don't know? You don't want to know what Krishna means? You didn't want to know what the word means?" He's like, "Okay." And I tell him, the dome. See that shower over there? You see you see a rainbow in it, and you don't see one in your house. You see, it's a crystal dome, blah, blah, blah. Krishna, crystal. That's it. They just look at me. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing. Nothing. So I'm expecting, India's going to be the same. I got to go over there and send everyone to hell, basically. It's like, how can you not listen to the simplest bit of English as possible? The guy spoke English. Like, speak English? Yeah. Okay. Almost everyone I run into in India speaks English. When I would go over there, this is very simple English. I'm talking to you. Nothing. It's not even there. That's my experience. absolutely just, I'm like, hey, God, can you help me out here? I can't reach anyone. Like, what am I supposed to do up here? I'm like, maybe I take a free home and then, free church. Maybe, I don't, I just don't know how to reach them. Oh, that's a good question. Well, here's the thing. What was, I mean, did duality exist before Adam, or is it because of the first one that we find ourselves in duality? Well, I mean, an event happened before that. You know what I mean? That made the devil exist. So that's what happened. But it's just what Mayor Baba says that God speaks. It's just exactly what he says in there. There was an original whim. Like, you're looking up at the dome and you see there's an ocean up there. You're like, uh, what would the boundaries of that ocean be? It's like there's no boundaries. And so there's just ocean that exists with no boundaries. It's everything. And that's only, a physical part of God. There's a non-physical part of God, which is infinite in the same way. And so if you're God and you want to know yourself, that was the thought that come into God's mind from whatever. It was a whim or a fancy. In other words, the sea was fanned and the waves happened. That's how waves happen, right? Waves of creation. Rama describes creation that happens in waves. If you're the ocean, how would you describe creation? In waves. Waves don't stop on the ocean. It's not like you go down to the ocean, it's like, hey, there's 0 waves today. It doesn't ever stop. So it never stops. It never stops. Unless, you're outside of this time bubble, in which case God already had the whim and already had it answered. But, we're still going in the bubble and stuff. To God, God already got the answer back. But it's a paradox that time doesn't exist for God. It's a paradox, but it existed here. But anyway, the whim was for God to know self. And so if you're literally everything that is, there's no way to wonder, oh, I wonder what I am. And so the not parable, here comes I might switch this. I'm going to answer your question, but it's cool to see the dolphins coming through. I saw one come up by this nice boat here, but maybe they'll come through. Anyway, the fancy, if you want to know yourself, right? You're everything. That automatically created creation. It automatically created another state of God. God, everything is God. So, the book God Speaks is the explanation of creation in 3 different ways. The third way is explained in the 10 states of God. So that's the third part of the book, 10 states of God. So the original state of God is God beyond God. So it's that's God beyond even physical form. You know what I mean? Like beyond the dome and beyond the ocean, beyond all that, God was everything, is everything, and so on. That state of God already, it still exists. That's a state that everyone still exists in sleep. When you go to sleep, you don't remember anything. You don't know anything. You don't know who you are. You don't know this world. You don't know anything. It's a state of God of like rest. Like you haven't realized anything. You haven't done anything. I don't know where this porpoise went. It was just on the other side of this boat. The boat's moving. So in that original state of God, that created the creator. That created the creator aspect of God. And that's another part of God that's absolutely 100% asleep. You see, because that's the not God. That's, God is in that state of that 10 states of God. I mean, it's not a bad spot here, is it? Oh, up goes a bridge. So, and that's, wow, the porpoise just hiding somewhere. I don't know. Oh, Antares star. They come from the stars, right? The super wealthy. There it is. They know what star they are in the heavens. Isn't that interesting? Uh, so, that whim of there was one state of God at that point, you see? And so that thought that God created it within God created another state of God, the creator, which then created all the rest of the states of God, the other 8 states, which is, uh, all the animals and the rocks and this whole creation and everything, like that created this situation. So, but that state of God is, not the original state of God. So God is wanting to have, conscious realization of self. Who am I? What am I? You see? Because God doesn't know in the original state of God who it is, what God is. And so that creates the God that is the creator, preserver, destroyer, right? Because inherent within creation is preservation and destruction. So not just the creator, preserver, destroyer, that is now dreaming this infinite nothing, as Baba calls it, these bubbles in this ocean, all this creation, this physical form nonsense, that we find ourselves trapped in as aspects of God. The soul never leaves God, right? We don't have our soul right now. We're fighting to get it. Now we have our spirit is in us, which is like a reflected image of the soul is within us. And so and it's wrapped in veils, right? 7 made veils, right? Each spiritual plane, you remove a veil until ultimately all the veils are removed and your soul is reunited with God. But you bring home the truth of the whole situation. Bring it home to the conscious God. You close the loop. You see, your consciousness closes the loop and that ends it. So it's not, the whole, atom and so on, emanator, sustainer, dissolver. Well, you see, dissolver, he's always speaking from the ocean. He's the ocean of love. So he's trying to tell you there's an ocean above your head, everybody, above the firmament. He uses the word firmament. You'll see when you get to, the Pilgrim Center of Mirbaba in India, like you walk up on the porch, and then if you look up at the porch, all along the porch is this one quote from Mirbaba built into the porch, into the overhang. You have to the first thing you walk under, up the stairs to get to that Pilgrim Center, in that quote has, "I'm in the firmament and beyond." What do you... I'm like, I go in there, well, what does that word mean? Firmament. Oh, wow. What the fuck? He's in the firmament and beyond. Same here. I'm in here, but I'm outside of it. I have the universal mind of God. So God is, Mir Baba is also correctly using all these words from the ocean because, the unlimited physical form of God, he's always saying, someday I'll show you my true form. That's what he says. Well, just look up. There's, there's an ocean right there. What did they quote on the first, landing on the moon? It's like, they had that quote about, it just slipped. It just come in and went out. God is in the in the oceans, beneath and above and below, something like that. They know, like there's an ocean down here, it's connected to the ocean up there, and so are we. It's such a, they're making fun of us. They're saying space, we take our rockets into space. No, we're in the space here. This is the space, and outside of it, there's no space. That's the ocean. They're making fun of us. And they're right to do it. I mean, people are so stupid they can't even figure it out even after I say it. So, it's always, I mean, Bear Baba is just trying to just show that, there's this physical form of God, the ocean. And, there's one of the states of God is the avatar. That's why everybody walk by on the beach is like this. Oh, hey, hey, I'm like this. Hey, I'm the one. And look up. By the way, that's who I'm with. The one. So, what's an emanation? Things are produced, right? Creation. Sustainer, preserver, and dissolver. That's the one that, destroyer, dissolves. Everything goes back into the ocean, bloop, and then boop, new bubble. I mean, if you watch, dip a thing in bubbles, blow bubbles, how's that happen? But it happens. We're in a bubble. People can make bubbles real easy. Bubbles apparently easy for God to make. And everything in a bubble. I mean, I'm just saying. Every single time I go live, I release new information that is always in accordance with what I've said before. Who could do that? Anyway, it's not. Whoa. It's not ego or nothing like that. Nothing. No, the opposite. Like, it's just the role I have to play. Just like the role you're playing. The role you're playing is gathering information, living a life, finding out the truth, accepting the truth. Oh, that's the true name of God, and this is what my actions should be. And at the end, come Judgment Day, okay, I don't want to do this again. So you bring home the full truth. Your consciousness reunites with God, and God's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the whole truth. Thanks for, giving me the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And that's it. That's why this is all happening. God wanted to know the truth. That's why the truth sets you free. Once you've figured out all the truth, that you accept it, you don't have to come back. You bring home the truth to God. God's like, I'm one with your consciousness. I know you know the truth. You don't have to go back in the dome again because you figured it all out. That's it. Your mama said the perfect master see this as a game. I do. It's a game that God invented. Can you explain how the tides work, right? Are the tides how the ocean stays clean or habitable? Does the ocean here get recycled out with the ocean above? No, it's not like that. This way I look at every process here, right? Like, how does the air stay clean? How does the water stay clean? Like everything. How does a tree stay alive? How are humans alive? Like, everything is a miracle. In the end, it's not explainable. I can't say, oh, in exact words, this is how you do it, and you can reproduce how the tides how the tides happen. Obviously, God breathes in and out twice a day, right? Mainly from the center point of this whole thing, right? That's what happens. God breathes in and out twice a day, and that's the way Mir Baba describes Pralaya and Mahapralaya is God breathes in and out. So you see how the tides are a similar thing to God. And the whole, emanator, sustainer, dissolver, creator, preserver, destroyer. Like, God is just breathing in and out. And, if God does something like that, everything is pure. God is pure. It cleans up everything. I was walking on the beach today, and I'm like, everybody has a staircase. All the super wealthy have a staircase that go down into, oh, here we go. Corps of Engineers. Oh, yeah, we built this whole thing. That's what they say. The Corps of Engineers say they built the intercoastal waterway. My ass. God built it. The way they built it. I knew someone that was in the Corps of Engineers, and I've actually been down and talked to the Corps of Engineers one time. No way. No way. Are you kidding me? So, I mean, the tides, they come and they go, right? And it's in this perfect figured out amount that it comes and goes. But anyway, I was walking the beach. I'm like, you know, these super wealthy houses, they have these stairs that go down to the beach, and all the stairs are always getting ripped off, ripped apart. Like every year, there's somebody out there making new stairs. I'm like, where are all the stairs? You know what I mean? From all the years of all the stairs of all the beaches and all the everything, where are they? They're not on the beach here, you know? And where's all the seaweed that like dies on the beach, and all the dead fish and all the dead everything and all the trash and all the everything? Like this beach is like clean as a whistle. Like not every single day, but really often it's absolutely clean of everything. How's that possible? It's a miracle. Like, how is it? We're in a dome, right? And everybody's driving cars around and smoking cigarettes and, you know, burning fires to eat food. And, the grasslands are on fire, and just, forest fires and volcanoes. And, like, how come the air in here isn't just putrid? And all the animals and humans shitting and pissing, and, how come it isn't just absolutely putrid in here? Yeah, it's cool that the ocean gets the cleanest stuff and the tides happen, but how can I breathe clean air every day? It's impossible. You see, everything here, once you see it for what it is, there's only one explanation for everything: is God is doing it, and it's impossible. It's a miracle. It's impossible. Everything's a miracle. How can it not be seen that way? You see, like everything. How did everything get here? At the beginning of the time loop, miracle. How does it get preserved? Miracle. How does it get sustained? Miracle. How does it get dissolved at the end? Miracle. How does everything happen? Miracle. How does a pelican take off? How do women give birth? Like everything is just absolutely impossible. It's not random, it's impossible. But the questions that you ask, Alan, are good because, you start going deeper and deeper into knowledge, and then it's like, well, wait a second. You hit like a wall, like you hit the firmament. You're like, wait a second, what's this invisible wall here? Wait a second. What? You hit this invisible wall of knowledge where it's like, how is this possible? Then you're like, wait a second, how is the next thing possible? And the next thing and the next thing, Like it's just, you get to the point where, it's impossible. It's impossible, Like how come there aren't stairs of every destroyed, the stairs that people make it out of are made out of stuff that's like the wood gets all this stuff in it, so the bugs won't eat it and everything. So it's supposed to last like 50 years. So there should be at least 50 years worth of stairs piled up on every beach. And there isn't. How's that possible? How's that possible? Makes no sense, you see. It's just impossible. You have to see it for, there's a certain amount of that you can not explain, but describe. You can describe times happen at this time each day. That's a description of like, you can see them happening, but how they happen, what's the explanation there, I don't think so. God is making it happen. Like, how did everyone get here that didn't come through a mother in the beginning? They say storks. It's like I say, them things around us are all angels, animals and everything. So the angels are working for God and making all this junk happen, So storks is actually more accurate than, everyone came through a woman is 100% not accurate. That's what's happening now, except for, the shapeshifters come and go and stuff. Is that birth? When you become a shark and then you become a human, was that a birth, or was that Was that a death? Was that a birth? Was that a resurrection? You know, like, wait, what is that? I don't know. Which one are those, you know? Some of the words aren't, you can't even use them to fully describe the experience, even, you know, some of the miracles going on with some of the things. Like, how did a stork bring a baby, you know? How does an angel bring a baby? God tells an angel, bring a baby, it appears. Like, you know, how can you explain a miracle? I mean, you could see that it's happened. Maybe you could maybe experience a miracle happening, but then go. All you realize is that didn't fit the script that we're told. That's what you can for sure say. Like, that didn't match anything about what I've lived before or what's been described before. So it's a miracle. But then you start looking at all of life and every situation, everything going on all day, and you're like, wait a second, how could all these cars be here? Wait, where are all the factories? How did this stuff get on the shelf at Walmart? You realize, wait a second, everything all day long, everything's a miracle. It's impossible. You see, it's all impossible. Once you begin to see it that way, then you see God in everything. You know, you start advancing through the plays. You're not tied to this world. You're like, well, I want to just who's making all these miracles? Where are you? You know, that's what your desire becomes when you kind of lose your desire for figuring out everything. You know, I mean, I continually am given information to be like, hey, here's another miracle, here's another thing, here's another thing, here's another thing. And every time, though, I'm trying to say everything's a miracle. Don't you see it? You see, how can every flag, basically every flag, every country, every state be saying 64? How? That's a miracle. How? It's like, wait a minute. How's that possible? What? The endless and infinite never ends. That's a wave of creation. Waves never end. Waves don't stop in the ocean. They don't stop. Creation, it just keeps on going. So that aspect of God, the creator, preserver, destroyer, you know, emanator, sustainer, dissolver, is thinking in that state of God, I'm God. This is infinite. I'm the infinite God. I create infinitely. No, that's not the full truth. Do you see? That's the full cage. That's the nothing. That's God looking in the mirror and saying, that's what I'm not. I am not to be limited to creation or preservation or dissolution. Just, that's not me at all. That's the not me. That has limits. And you know, our soul being a part of God has no limits. That's what we have to see in the end. Everything's a miracle. Get me to the, you know, get me out of here. Get me out of the miracle dome and get me back to the, you know, God. You reunite with God in your consciousness, and then, oh, okay, you're with that part of, you know, God that has full consciousness. There are all these parts of God that exist at the same time, right? Like, I'm walking around in here and people are like, that's not the truth. That's not okay. Oh, there goes a porpoise. But yeah, to me, it's a miracle they can all be this asleep and I can't wake them up. That's a miracle. Think about it. How can I tell the truth for a decade? My entire family, everyone I ever known, everyone I'm ever around, how can they all deny the truth? All of them. That's a miracle to me. It's like, I don't think it's a great miracle, but it's a miracle. This is English. English is your language. I'm explaining this very simply. And you have no comeback. And they're just like this. And they just walk away. And they go right back to, you know, nothing I said penetrated, nothing. To me, that's its own type of miracle, you know? How can I tell you the truth and you never listen? How can I tell you, you know, someone under my roof for so many years, and everything I say is true, and still every single day when I say something new in answer to a question, it's like, no. I mean, after a decade, you're still saying that. No. Oh, to me, that's a miracle. It's a miracle how stupid. Like, that's what I'm saying. Human intelligence, it's a hoax. How can I keep saying the same, like, okay, here's a new truth, here's another thing, here's another thing, and just over and over in every single detail, and it just takes almost no one, and a few, very few people, and then, almost none of whom I've met. It's how's that possible? To me, it's like, uh, when I met my guru and realized he had, I was like, this guy knows the truth. I just was like, hey, what are you doing next week, tomorrow? Where are you going to be? When am I going to see you again? When am I going to, nobody does that to me, like, where are you going to be? Uh, I want to hear the truth from you. Like, no one is captured to that level where they have to be in my presence to hear it. I was when I met with him. Like, he don't meet with me now. He won't do it. No, because I'm supposed to be united with God and get my information with God from God. And that's what it's same with everyone. Everyone's supposed to ultimately, that's the way out of here is to reunite your consciousness with God. Uh, and you can only get all the truth from one individual because only one individual is tied into everything. Because the perfect masters, they can't say. I wasn't told by my perfect master. I wasn't told any of this stuff. I'd ask a question and be like, some things he couldn't say. Some things he would, Like one day, many years ago, he was like, let's go to the movies. I was like, you want to go to the movies? Okay. It's like, what do you want to see? And there was some like horrible thing from the 90s, late 90s. It was like, or early 2000s, something like that. It was like, oh, what was it? It was something about space and can't remember what it was. It's just a horrible space movie, like a B movie practically. And you come out of me, he's like, what do you think about that? I was like, I think the movie sucked. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, that was just a horrible, crappy movie. He's like, ha ha ha. I was like, okay, I went to the movie with you. I don't get it, but I went, because I'm trying to hang out with the guy. But he didn't say a word about it. But now I'm like, you brought me that stupid movie and made me look like a freaking idiot because I didn't say space was fake and blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't know at that point, and he didn't say a word. Not one single thing. He was like, what do you think about that movie? Like, it sucked. I don't know what. Anyway. Baby Jesus. Hoax. That was the title for this one. I'm on here about an hour. I'm thinking of maybe go get some food and stuff like that. We had horrible weather yesterday. Actually, it was cold and stuff. I couldn't get on the beach and take a walk and everything. I'm really happy to be out today. Took a nice long walk and everything. Great questions, Alan. As always. Be watching your mail. Something's coming. So, Mike, it's good to hear from you. I mean, Mike, listen, when I say he showed up on the beach and then he was, he's working and, he's got more in life going on than just me, but he would come and hang around me when he could and is, continuing to do that when his life allows. So there are a couple people doing it as they can, but everyone else I've known in my life, like, they don't look me up on Google. They don't talk about me. They don't, nothing. They don't, none of this, zero. To me, that's quite a miracle to me. Like, you all know what's the truth. That's a miracle. All right, that's kind of my notes for what's going on today. Thanks for paying attention, moving your consciousness forward. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I see you doing that, Mike. You're a recent, you washed up on the ocean recently, and you're like doing what I described. I see you doing it. And like Alan has a desire to hang out with me too. But I mean, it's crazy how many years I've been doing this and I got no one around me. Like now, people that are changing their schedule and doing this and pilgrims and stuff like that. But I mean, absolutely amazing though what I've done over the years, and that wasn't enough miracles to bring people to the truth and have me be listened to. You know, you guys found out about me relatively recently compared to many other people, and I would say so few listen to me. Like one in Texas listens to me. Dee Dee, I don't know, like, and I have hard information, like, some people, they quit asking me questions because I answer their question and they realize if they don't do it, well. But real truth seekers are asking questions, don't stop asking. They get the truth and then they, act on the truth once they know it. That's the right way to be. Anyway, yeah, thanks. I'm going to go get a bite. Thanks for everyone being in here. Thanks for the support. It's pretty funny, but every single year I do this work, I'm absolutely destitute. Like the school is stuff, no one gets any courses or nothing like that. The Poe family is helping. God, what a godsend, because without them I'd have already destroyed my credit again. And already be fighting with them again. So, some of my suffering has been eased a great deal by the Poe family and others. Mike, you've been making donations too. But the people that are donated, that actually eases my suffering, because then I don't have to go, here I go again, toe to toe with the beast, And all I'm trying to do is help people keep a website now to open and deliver the truth. And this time of year, I'm the one paying to do that without donations, which thank God I've been getting this year. But it's usually running up my credit super high, and then, hoping in the rest of the year, maybe I can pay it down, which I can't usually, and then I destroy the credit. So like your donations ease my suffering. They really do. Because I can't not deliver the truth. I have to go back to God and be like, hey, I did my best. It's like, yeah, but you could have destroyed your credit again. I'm like, yeah, I could have. I would have. I will, but I don't have to at this moment. So I really appreciate that, especially, the people here right now truly help it, truly making donations and truly help it, truly asking the right questions, and Mayor Baba has a word for those individual ABDEL, Abdels, show up sent from God to give true help and support. Which, man, after this many years, it's tiring. Let me tell you, it's really tiring to do this work 7 days a week. It's tiring. But I'm doing my best. Thanks for the support. I'm going to go get some food and get some rest. And God watch over you. Right? In the name of Jesus Christ.